Hello again. Welcome back to the Flying Style Podcast. I'm your host, Matthew Mitchell, back with my co host, Stephen Masley.
Hello, Matthew.
And we're back again with another win this week against the Chicago Bears, 13-1. Won the game 25-20 this past Sunday. So before we jump into anything else, let's just hear your general thoughts on that, Maz.
Well, I'm so excited for the breaking news. But going into that game, there's a couple things I'm going to address with the breaking news. But to the point of Miles didn't touch the ball for the first 19 snaps on the field. This was outrageous to me, especially against his Bears run defense, which is horrific. Um, Jalen showed sometimes where he threw 2 picks in the game. Obviously, Miles had that fumble but we our turnovers hurt us. That's the reason we didn't demolish this team and didn't pull away from this team, and they were able to stay in the game. Fields played very well toward the end, especially, but there was our defense, in my opinion, played absolutely great. Um, we had 6 sacks. I know that Hassan. I know Reddick had 2. I know Hargrave might have had 2. I know three of our.
I think it was Brandon Graham, Hargrave, and Hassan Reddick all had two, I'm pretty sure.
I just loved how we played defense that game. We didn't create as many. Obviously, didn't win a turnover battle.
Oh, I'm sorry. Not Brandon Graham. Josh Lett.
But it made me happy to see us get into the quarterback, and especially on our defensive side. But our offensive side, I just didn't like how much. Not the fact that they put it all on Jalen, because I'm not worried. I trust Jalen, but the fact that we have to run the ball. We have to be able to force it down like crappy teams' throats, and especially bad defenses. Just be able to run the ball on these guys. And I don't think it's that hard. I know Sirianno is pissed at Miles for that fumble, but you still just have to keep going back and back and back
That
to
was also
Miles.
not on a run play and was very debatably a fumble in the first place, in my opinion. But, it is what it is. But with that all being said, I think everyone can understand your tone of voice by your reaction here. So why don't you go ahead and break the news to them?
But breaking news. So Jalen Hurts has sprained his throwing shoulder.
Yeah.
His throwing shoulder. He's going to be out this game against the Dallas Cowboys, which might be the most anticipated game of the year.
Well, don't say that yet. He's not officially out by any means yet, but he
He is
most
basically
likely will
officially
be.
out.
Yeah.
He might as well be. The line moved up to a whole 6 points for the Cowboys when it was a pick 'em to start. This is just crazy. I mean, I know that you don't think it's as bad as it seems, and I'm not worried. I'm all for Jalen being healthy and being 100% healthy in order to continue. However, I just think it's outrageous that I know we're gonna get trolled all week about having their backup quarterback in before with Cooper Rush, and I think our entire team is gonna step up and still beat the Cowboys.
Well, actually, there's a part of me that, I'm not going to say I'm excited about the fact that Hurts isn't playing this game because obviously this is something that we've all been looking forward to all year. But it would make me pretty damn happy if we beat them with their backup quarterback and they were all upset about it. And then they came in and then we beat them with our backup quarterback. It would make it a lot nicer. I can't lie.
It would be
So
amazing.
I'm not necessarily upset with it. We talked about this a little bit last week in the MVP conversation with Hurts and the fact that, some people think that he's a system quarterback and that someone else could step in and do the same job. And I fully disagree with that point, regardless of what I said in the last podcast. That was, I'm sure it would be misinterpreted. I don't really think I explained it well enough to my feelings about it. But, not everyone can do what Hurts is doing, but our team is really damn good. So, everybody, like the line switched to +6 for the Eagles on this game just because our quarterback's out. I think that's a little ridiculous. I don't think that losing the quarterback does make us 6-point underdogs. I think it should be even at this point, is how I see it. So, obviously I'm worried about the Cowboys because they're a good team. And this is a game that I really wanted us to win. And it's a game to lock up the 1 seed, which is also huge. But, you know, if Hurts is even a little bit hurt right now, I fully agree with the idea of keeping him out. And on top of that, I do think this is a game that's winnable without Hurts. I genuinely do. And I'm not going to say I'm not worried about it now. I'm not going to say oh, we still have this game in the bag. But I think that Minshew can do plenty enough. He's been a starting quarterback before. He's proved that he can do it. I don't think that he's anywhere near as good as Hurts, but I obviously think that he can, be serviceable. And if we, if we don't do what we did this week, like I mentioned with the turnovers, going into this game, I said coming into this game that my score prediction would have been a blowout if we keep the ball under wraps, but if we turn it over, it would be 24-20, which I was pretty damn close with. So, it comes down to the turnover battle once again. If we can hold on to the ball, we'll be in really good shape because our team is better than theirs. And on top of that, Dak Prescott turns the ball over a lot. A lot of people aren't talking about the fact that he's been turning the ball over crazy amounts lately. Threw 2 picks last game. I'm pretty sure he's thrown. I think he's thrown 9 in his last 6 games. I could be off, give or take an interception or game,
But pretty close. He has 11 on the season, and he played 9 games. So
yeah,
that's over an interception per game.
exactly. So he's not as accurate of a quarterback as everybody thinks he is, and I think that in this past game against the Bears, I think we actually played a really good game on both sides. Running the ball, I'm not running the ball, sorry. Just moving the ball, getting open. I think that other intangibles got in the way, the fact that it was cold. I think Hurts was hurting a little bit. We should have ran the ball a lot more with Miles Sanders. That's something that I'm definitely upset about, considering he came off of a career week. He didn't touch it until the end of the second quarter. These are things that we can adjust to, but yeah, I'm kind of losing my track here, but we didn't play that bad against the Bears, is my point, and the turnovers make a huge difference. You take away those turnovers, the game's not even close, but the turnover, it just changes the momentum entirely.
No, I just felt like, well, seeing this injury kind of opened my eyes, and I know we briefly talked about it, but it's just the fact that Hurts gets hit so many times. I know he's not sliding, and that's what your point's going to be, but just not using the run game as like a downhill run game and using the RPOs constantly and putting Hurts into these positions where he's forced to get the extra 2 yards and forced to get the first down. I just think it was the inevitable going to happen. It's hard not to get hurt when you're getting hit constantly
100%.
in the game, especially as a quarterback. And you're taking hits as a passer, and you're taking hits as a runner, as our leading rusher. And it's just that's the only thing that makes me just a little angry, especially because he's had such a good season so far. And not to put anything against Gardner Minshew, but if we want to win a Super Bowl, I want to have Hurts there. And I know the whole narrative of Nick Foles did it and everything. It's not. Obviously,
that's a once in a lifetime thing. No one should be expecting that to happen again.
You can't just lose your MVP and then magically win the Super Bowl again. I'm a little bit angry at Sirianni just in general, just because I just know that he hasn't even tried to just outcast Hurts from taking hits. That's the only thing I would even say about this game, especially against a bad team.
Well, I've got a couple things to say about that. First of all, the first thing that goes into play is that Sirianni isn't the play caller. Steichen is. So Sirianni does have the overall say at the end of the day, but Steichen is the one with the play calling. He's the one making the decisions for Jalen Hurts to run the ball. That's on Steichen. Second of all, I think I only recall seeing about probably 5 or 6, which is still a lot, but 5 or 6 designed quarterback runs aside from the options. And that's something that I put on Hurts, actually, because I think that Hurts, I'm not sitting there, reading super into the actual read that he's making on the D end or the outside linebacker and who he's keying on and whatnot. But in my opinion, watching the games, I think there's a lot of times that I've noticed that he should be handing the ball off when he takes it by himself. And that's something that absolutely, even in this past game, there were plenty of times where I was hoping for a Miles Sanders run and it would be a Jalen Hurts run off of an option play. And that's something that, he's the one that makes that decision. And like you were just saying, my point was before, a lot of this to me goes down on Jalen Hurts. I think that, no one worries about getting hurt when they're playing, obviously, including quarterbacks. And he's just playing his game of football. It's how he's always played. He's a running quarterback. He runs the ball, he passes the ball, and he's tough. That's how he's always played. He's never been one to shy away from contact. And that's something that, as a young quarterback, you have to learn early. And I'm hoping that this is a wake-up call for him in that regard, because when you're playing an MVP year and you go down because, you didn't want to slide, or, you took a bad hit, and, like, you matter to the team as well. Like, you will be hurting the team if you're out. And I'm not saying this is all Jalen Hurts' fault. He just got hit. It happens. But, he's got to start considering how important he actually is to this team, and how much those, that 1 yard doesn't matter in terms of the long stretch. And that's something I hope we can see a little more from Hurts going forward. But I don't really put blame on anybody for this. This is just something that happens with a running quarterback. And it's not like anybody's, surprised that Hurts is running the ball. He has been his whole career, has been all year. And everybody's like to pride him on the fact that he's a running quarterback. And that's like part of what makes him good. And it's true. He has 700, 800 rushing yards. But this is what comes with it. And there's a reason we haven't seen a lot of success from running quarterbacks in the NFL in history.
I think my tone was I want to backtrack a little bit. Not more of blame, just frustration, honestly. I just don't like that he has to be in these situations where, oh, do you want to get that? I know he has to. I know Joe Burrow even like learned it when he got his major injury, and I'm glad he didn't I'm sorry, I didn't want to curse. I'm glad he didn't break his collarbone. Like, I'm glad he didn't break his collarbone, because or else he's out for the entire year, which could have happened. It was a hard hit. At the time, I thought he just got the wind knocked out of him, because he got back up and he played the rest of the game like he was.
As somebody that's had a shoulder injury, I saw that right away, and that scared the crap out of me. I was impressed that he was doing as well off of it, like immediately after, but that's just a lot of adrenaline pumping. So
Yeah, but throwing those deep balls down to like AJ with a dime pass was still just like
he was still throwing it well. That's what I'm saying. And
Yeah.
so I started to lose a little bit of that worry, but as soon as it happened, this was my fear, and I kind of relinquished that because he was playing well afterwards. But it's about exactly what I expected, unfortunately.
It's very unfortunate to happen, but at the end of the day, it could be worse. It could be
It's not
way
the end of
worse.
the world.
And
We are one game away from locking up the 1 seed. We still have 3 games left to play. It's really not that big of a deal. Even if we were to lose the 1 seed, it wouldn't be the biggest deal, but that's something that obviously nobody wants. It wouldn't be the biggest deal, is my point. We're still in the playoffs. We're still going. Don't catch my drift wrong. I'm not saying I want us to lose the 1 seed. I'm just saying no matter what, Hurts' health is more important and needs to be prioritized over anything, including getting the 1 seed.
Yeah, I mean, I want to be 100%, but I mean, that's where I kind of disagree with you. If, say, we lose the next 3 games for some odd reason, and Jalen's like 90, 95%, and we have a chance to still get the 1 seed, say the Vikings don't lose, I want him playing and getting that 1 seed so he can have another week's rest that's not a playoff game. That's just me. If that were to come down to that scenario, I don't know.
It only worries me because it's his throwing shoulder. It's, if you feel like you're at 95%, but that 5% is off, one throw could tweak it back to 40%. So that's what worries me with that. And with shoulder injuries, it is something you really want to be 100% with, especially, throwing the ball. No kidding, for the quarterback. So I'm not 100% sure which one I would prefer, to be honest, because I do think that this is not the same thing as, Wentz and Foles. I don't think we're going to get, I don't want to say I don't, have faith in Minshew, but I'm not
don't have faith in
going to
Minshew.
assume he's going to lead us to a Super Bowl either. So, considering Jalen Hurts is the MVP, the most valuable player in the league and on our team, I think we got to take care of him first before anything, because I would prefer to try to deal with some adversity than, put the adversity on the quarterback.
That's fair. That's very fair. I mean, it's just the only thing that's the most ashamed about this whole thing, honestly, is the fact that he probably won't win MVP anymore. But it's an individual award, and at the end of the day, it doesn't matter at all if we can go deep into the playoffs /
Well, it's
remain
not
healthy.
100% yet. If he's only out for, we really just need to figure out how long he's going to be out for. If he's only out for a game, I wouldn't say the award's out of reach yet, but it puts a hurt on it. It depends on how the other candidates play in those two in that week, or going forward. But if we finish 16-1, then I feel like it would be hard not to give it to him still. But I don't know. It's definitely going to be it definitely made the race a lot more interesting. That's for sure.
Well, my thing is if we win this week, there's no reason to play Hurts like the rest of the season. Kind of
Exactly.
if he's even 99%.
I think you might play him the last week just because you don't want your team taking 4 weeks off of football and then jumping back into it.
But it's not.
But
It just hurts though. I'm still saying play the starters, but if Hurts is if 99%, I don't need it. I don't need it. Even if he's 100 in the last week, like I don't think there's any
if
reason
he's
for him to go.
100% in the last week, I'd like him to play. But if he's not 100%, then no, I agree. But if he's 100%, I think he should, because that's a lot of time off of not looking at NFL defenses and NFL speed. It just kind of gives you, like, it just means you kind of need it. Like, I just
Tune
feel
up
like it
game
would put him in a
basically.
spot where he needs a tune up, and he wouldn't be able to do it. And I don't want that. I don't want him to be in that spot in the playoffs.
I mean that's fair, but mainly the reason I wanted to do this podcast because it was an emergency one was just to say how much we're going to step up in this game. And I know that Dallas has a good defense. They're not. I don't like. I don't think they have a great defense. I'll be straight honest with you. I don't think they're the 85 Bears. I don't think they're a great defense.
No,
That's
they're
what
not better than our defense, but
exactly. But people, maybe it's just me seeing people on Twitter and stupid Cowboys fans and just the Philly hate everywhere I go. But it's ridiculous to put them above us at any aspect. Like even Parsons being so good. Yeah.
well, they don't
Okay.
even. I mean, to be honest, that's just people being. That's just like fans being fans. There's no stat to back up that the Cowboys are better than us in defense. We back up every stat that we're better than them in defense, like everything. And on top of that, the reason the Cowboys get so much shine is because they have flashy guys on defense. They've got guys like Micah Parsons and DeMarcus Lawrence who make their D line look unstoppable just off of those two. You've got your linebackers that are good. You've got Jalen Smith and
Vander.
uh, and Vander Esch, who are both solid pieces. And then you've got Trayvon Diggs, who's a ball hawk and does well at taking the ball away, along with a few other pieces here and there. And they do a good job of making it look flashy and look good, but they still give up a lot of yards. I mean, they just played two bad teams and gave up a ton of points to them and yards.
They gave
And
up 40 points to the Jags.
exactly, and I honestly do want to say that the Jags are a better team than when we played them, but they're not a playoff ready team by any means. So people are definitely overrating this Cowboys team. They are just as beatable as anybody else in the league, and for some reason, those high scoring games that they had in the beginning of the year, people got all excited about it, and they happen to not realize the fact that 3 to 3.5 quarters of each of those games were a 1 point game, like a 1 score game, and then they just happened to pull away in garbage time. Like, this team, they're definitely scary. They have the pieces. They're capable of winning games. But do I think that they're a seriously good team and somebody to be scared of? Absolutely, absolutely not. Not by any stretch of the imagination.
Especially over the last two games. Obviously the Texans have been playing well because they went to overtime with the Chiefs and Dallas only won it with the last 40 seconds. But like,
The Texans have barely been blown out all year. Everybody craps on them. They don't win
and then they
games.
crap on us for losing by 12 or
I
winning
know
by
they're
12.
like the Lions of last year, who lost almost every game, but were only lost by 3 points or a point or a touchdown at the end.
Oh no, man! This makes me. I have such a weird, like, I don't know how to feel. Like, am I supposed to be like, oh, I'm glad he's getting healthy, or am I supposed to be like, I don't like. Honestly, I had so much
No,
emotion.
obviously we're upset about it. We wanted to see Jalen Hurts play against the Cowboys this week. Everybody's been excited for that. That's kind of that put a damper on my Christmas spirit. I can't lie, but hopefully Gardner Minshew can come back, and prove me wrong. And I do think he can, absolutely. But it definitely stinks to have your starting quarterback out. There's no fun part about that.
Sucks.
But
Absolutely sucks.
But aside from that point, we're 13-1 and already clinched playoffs. So there's nothing to be upset about. But that definitely is not. It's not something that's fun either.
I just had a Giants fan DM me that at least you have a quarterback now that could throw the ball, unlike that running back you had before. I just responded 48-22. But anyway, I just like it. Just I can't stand people. I can't stand other people. Like I just don't. I just want to beat the Cowboys. No, so all I want to, I'm more upset because I just want to beat the Cowboys and show them we can beat the Cowboys, and I still think we can. And I just don't. I just want to. I wanted to murder them.
Yeah, it's just like for all Eagles fans, we're all sitting here like, damn, like of course it had to be Cowboys week. Like really, of all the weeks of the season, it had to be Cowboys week.
Just
But
brutal.
it is. But I'm riding with the Minshew mania. I'm really not. I'm not that worried, to be honest. Like if there was any I don't even know. Like I'd be more worried if Lane Johnson was out for this game, which sounds crazy, but it's kind of how I feel. Not entirely. That's kind of a bad analogy.
I was about to say Parsons on that side, isn't he?
But yeah, Parsons is on that side. We saw what happened last time with the Cowboys. We were killing them, and then Lane Johnson went out for the game, and Micah Parsons started wreaking havoc, and he was silent before Lane Johnson left. So honestly, against the Cowboys specifically, Lane Johnson
in particular.
But
so what are your keys to the game, especially with Hurts being out? What do you want to see from Minshew / the entire offense in general?
Well, I want to see us get the run game going once again. Obviously your MVP goes out. We have 1,000-yard rusher. We didn't use him last week. We got to reestablish the run game. That's first of all. I do not want to see Minshew, getting put in situations where he has to, think really hard, if that makes sense. Like I would this game like to see quick passes, quick dumps, pick up chunks. I don't really want to see him.
Not going to AJ to throw it to him.
Yeah, I don't want to see him overthinking things. I don't want to see him trying to, launch the ball deep too often. Maybe once, maybe at most twice, but I don't really want to see him even go deep that much. I would like to see him just manage the game, keep the ball under wraps, and just keep playing our game like at our pace. I don't want to let the Cowboys dictate the pace. That's all I want.
That's fantastic. And defensively?
Defensively, honestly, I'm not too sure. I feel like I got to do a little research looking into this game and what really gets under Dak Prescott's gears. But we got to get pressure on him. Like we've talked about, he throws a lot of picks, and if you put pressure on this guy, he panics. You saw it last week in the Jaguars game. That pick six that he threw, he was getting chased out of the pocket, tried to throw it off his back foot while he was turning. He panicked. So this is something that we can make happen, especially with our dangerous D line, with the most sacks in the league this year. So I'd like to be presumptuous and say we should run blitzes, but I obviously know that's probably going to happen minimally. So there's not a whole lot that we can change off of our defensive plan. Just you got to get after the quarterback, and it'll open up spots for our corners to make plays.
Is it kind of crazy? I kind of want to put the ball in Dak's hands. I rather shut down the run game with Pollard and Zeke.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. That's something I didn't think enough about, the fact that they are two good running backs.
They've been touching the ball a lot, especially when they win.
Mm-hmm, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, if we can shut down the run and keep the ball in Dak's hands, that's definitely best case scenario for everybody. So I agree.
Like they both of them usually touch it around. Zeke usually gets around 16. Pollard usually gets around 18, and then they both get a couple receptions. It's just I think if we shut down the run game and then Slay and Bradbury are able to do their thing on CD, like I can see us dominating this game on defense and getting the Dak and really giving him a bad day. Like I really would. I think everyone's going to step up. I don't think this is going to motivate the team. without Hurts. I think Hurts is going to be right there in the locker room the entire time, being in everyone's ear. You're going to see him running up and down the sidelines. I think we're going to even step up even more.
We've got guys in the locker room, leaders in the locker room, who have been through this underdog, series before. They're used to being counted out and counted down. So, like, that's something that they can at least bring experience to the table for the rest of the young guys. And
touchdown. You're giving them a touchdown? For the best team in the league. Yes, we lost MVP, but we have so many more pieces.
I know all year people have been underrating how good the Eagles team actually has been this year, outside of Jalen Hurts, and I think that's part of the reason that all those arguments from Parsons and Sims came out, because guys like that know, like, once again, not to make it sound like I'm shitting on Hurts here, but those guys are seeing the fact that they're calling Hurts the MVP. But like the team is just like damn near unbeatable. So like they're saying they're trying to say that Hurts is getting too much credit, which I completely disagree with. But I see their point, is what I'm saying. Like, people underrate how good our team around him actually really is. Like, our team is really, really good.
But he's the best player on the best team, which
I agree.
I know you agree. I know you agree.
Confirm that. I'm pointing out their point. I do not agree with the point. I'm just
saying in general. I'm just saying to Parsons, like, or Chris Sims. I don't care about Parsons. I know Parsons going to talk crap.
You saw Trayvon Diggs commented on Hurts' post and commented MVP.
Did he?
Yeah.
He also like did like 3 subtweets within like 2 hours saying vote for me for the Pro Bowl. Like, shut up. But no, even offensively, I'm not scared to let Minshew throw 50-50 balls up to Schmitty and AJ. Like, I mean, I obviously, like you said, I want to keep a minimum, and I'd rather just keep it on the ground and let our own line dominate this team. I just rather run it just away from Parsons in particular, and then double DeMarcus Lawrence, and that'd be. I mean, they do have the only problem with them is they're a decent defense. Now that I mean, I'm trying to make points like, yeah, get to the linebackers. They're good
defense. We're just gonna have to see, dude. This has been a highly anticipated game all year for a reason. Everybody's been looking forward to it because it's gonna be a good game. They're a good team. We're a good team. I think we're a better team. And now that we lost our MVP quarterback, it's going to be a lot closer even. So, I think it'll be a fun one, but I'm hoping that, we can really show them how much better of a team we are than they are. So,
hey, how is this not the night game, by the way? How is this not the night game? One more point. How is this not the night game?
Everybody's been asking that question.
You know what the night game is?
Yeah. I forget exactly what it was, but it's not.
It's the Steelers versus the Raiders. And we don't get the night.
They could flex it, but I think they want it to be, I don't know,
middle of the day Saturday, I guess.
Yeah, I think they kind of want it to like spread out. That's when everybody's gonna be at their family parties for Christmas Eve and whatnot. So
I guess
we'll see. But all right, with all that being said, let's let's hope for the best coming into this Cowboys week and believe in our fellas, because I don't think this team even stands a lick to us at all. But all that being said, let's jump into our picks for this week. So starting with Thursday Night Football, Jaguars versus Jets. Maz, who do you have?
I'm going with the Jets in this one, and not because of Zach Wilson. I hate Zach Wilson. I hope he doesn't play, actually. But I like their defense, and I don't think I think they're I mean, I'm not saying at home's great, but I think the Jags have been playing very well as of late, but I think the Jets defense hasn't stopped playing well the entire season. I just think that they deserve at least a field goal, but it's basically a pick 'em, and I'm gonna take the better defense in this one at home. That's what I'm going with.
Yeah, this one's a little bit of a toss up. I don't think you can go wrong saying either. For me, I'm gonna go with the Jags, and I'm actually gonna go against your point that I think that the Jets have slowed down. I think that they've kind of come back to reality a little bit, and they've been slipping, especially with poor quarterback play. Does not help anything. It's been a mess over there. But the Jags, like you said, have been playing out of their minds lately. They're really been stepping up their offensive game. And I think that they're hitting a hot streak at the right time. but I think that it's too soon for them to really take off or do anything with it. So definitely a bit of a toss-up. I'm going to go with Jacksonville. And then I'll run through my other picks real quick. For the Sunday slate, I'm going to be taking my birds. I'm taking the Eagles +6 versus the Cowboys. We've talked about it all podcast. That line is just too high for the Cowboys. We lost Hurts, but that shouldn't make that big of a difference. For my third pick, I'm going to go in Seahawks +9.5 versus the Chiefs. This one's a little bit of a tough one. Obviously, the Chiefs are a really good team. But, the Chiefs went into overtime with the Texans last week. They tend to do it with teams that they are playing that are worse than they are. They tend to play down to teams' levels. And I just think that, and not that the Seahawks are a bad team, but I think that they're at least good enough to keep it within 9.5 points. So I'm going to be taking that spread right there. And then for my last pick, I'm going to be going Browns -3 versus the Saints. This pick's a little bit biased because I want the Saints to lose as often as possible. But either way, I think that the Browns are starting to catch a little bit of wind with Watson back there. They're starting to figure things out a tiny bit. And in general, I think they're a better team. So I'm going to be going with the Browns in this one. So running through one more time, Jacksonville +1 versus the Jets. Eagles +6 versus the Cowboys. Seahawks +9.5 versus the Chiefs. And Browns -3 versus the Saints.
I like it. But I don't love it. I love mine more. I'm going against bad teams this week. Number one, I'm going Bills over the Bears. I'm taking 8.5. I think they're going to win by at least 10. I don't think the Bears are a good defense at all, and I think the Bills can demolish them. Defensively, I think the Bills can step up, and I just see no reason they can't win by 10 points. I think the line's a little actually short, even though it's in Chicago. My next pick, I'm going to go against another bad defense, which is Atlanta. Lamar Jackson is still going to be questionable for this game, but he might practice this week. And I'm going to take him by a touchdown. I think either way, J.K. Dobbins coming back. He's running the ball very well. There's no reason the Ravens shouldn't win this game and shouldn't win it by a lot of points. And then the last pick, I'm going against another bad team in the Dallas Cowboys. I think this team stinks. They've been playing very, very bad. They just lost to the Jaguars, and they won by 3 against the Texans. I don't think they're a really good team at all. I don't think Dak Prescott is a quarterback that should be like top 20 in the league at all. They don't really have anyone on defense, and I hate this entire team, and I hope they die in Dallas. So, yeah.
Run through your picks one more time. Full slate.
So, full slate, Jets -1. Eagles are going to beat whoever they play. I don't know who they are. I think they're a bottom feeder. The Ravens -7, and then the Bills -8.5. Sean, you're welcome for not cursing this entire episode about the Cowboys. Yeah, I hate the Cowboys, and I can't wait.
He learned his lesson last time we played the Cowboys. He got a little excited.
I hate them. This team stinks. They're not good. I don't care if we don't have Hurts. I don't care. Everyone else is stepping up. Matt. We're going to get 8 sacks this game. Simon's going to have 3 of them. I don't care. I love you, Jalen. I wish you were here. But guess what? Now it's everyone else's time to step up and show how good his team really is. And it's not all on Minshew. We're going to carry Minshew on our backs. We're going to beat the Cowboys.
I think everybody needs a little bit of Madley's energy this week because
I can't wait.
We can all agree that we feel the same way. But all right, this is a big week, man. Well, we're just gonna have to see. But I really like our chances. I'm not that worried about it, even with Hurts being out.
I'm happy. I'm actually very happy. I'm not even worried.
Just think about how great it'll be if we come back here next week, same time, with a dub over the Cowboys in Dallas, led by Gardner Minshew. It would be great.
We are going to. And it's going to be fantastic because then they can't have any excuses. Oh, they came to Philly with Cooper Rush. Oh, I can't wait. I don't think I've been more excited for a game. I think I'm actually way more excited now.
I love it. I
like adversity.
But all right, guys, thank you for tuning in again this week. I'm your host, Matt Mitchell, back with Stephen Masley, and we will be back again same time next week, hoping for a big dub against the Cowgirls.
Love you guys and good night.
Love you guys. We'll see you next week. Go Birds.